Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Serenity Speaks, Conversations on Wellness. I'm your guide, Cleo, and today we're diving into the world of holistic wellness with a very special guest, Mark Peters of Painting the Rainbow. Mark is a Tai Chi and Qigong teacher, a teacher trainer, and renowned expert in the field, known for his groundbreaking work with Tai Chi for rehabilitation and mindfulness practices. Welcome, Mark.
My name is Mark Peters. I'm based in South Birmingham. I'm a Tai Chi teacher, Qigong teacher for some 30 plus years. I'm a psychologist and I guess mindfulness coach. I guess people like to say those words now.
Yeah. And you, South Birmingham, are you based in Kings Norton?
Yes, Kings Norton, yeah, right near Kings Norton train station. So that's where my centre is, West Midlands Hypnotherapy Centre, hypnosis, CBT, and so on. Yeah, my background's in engineering, and Tai Chi was my not work thing. But then I realised I got fascinated in Tai Chi because it's like human engineering, how we function, how we move, how we do what we do. And he originally trained in Tai Chi as a martial art. And I trained in Malaysia, Singapore, and Taiwan, America, and obviously UK. And then now I still teach traditional Tai Chi Chuan as a martial art, but I'll spend a lot of time now working with hospitals using it for rehabilitation, going with all kinds of medical conditions. More traditional Tai Chi, then it would be Kaiming, which is KAIMING.co.uk. And so that means open-minded in Chinese, as it translates to. And for the rehab stuff, it would be painting the rainbow.co.uk. And that's where everybody who works in that group are all trained in mental health first aid and CPR and Tai Chi and medical condition awareness. So that's why we set it up as a CIC, because we're working a lot more with hospitals and groups such as Headway and places, organisations like Parkinson's Society. We're a kind of not-for-profit, so I train people, and when they're at a level they become an instructor, then they can run classes, and we all meet to keep our training together. So I still train them. So they're all self-employed. I don't take any payment. I do it voluntary. If somebody came to a centre, their centre would pay that person, and not me at all, so that it keeps the cost down. But yeah, we've got a team of around 10, 20 people. Most people see Tai Chi as that gentle, slow moving exercise we see people doing in the parks in the mornings. And I used to, in Malaysia, we'd be down the park about 5 o'clock in the morning. But literally, Tai Chi Chuan, when you translate it into English, means supreme ultimate boxing. And so originally it's a martial art. And so people, it's less like Kung Fu. Kung Fu is more muscular based, and Tai Chi is more about balance and use of yin yang and alignment and soft and hard and sensitivity. Yeah, so it is a martial art, but I would say most people now come and do it for the health and well-being side of it. Martial arts tend to get classified into two groups. External martial arts, which are more muscular, like karate, Muay Thai, Kung Fu groups, more muscular based. And then internal martial arts, like Tai Chi and Aikido. So they are more about using the other person's balance. I used to jokingly call, when people say, "So you're fighting Tai Chi?" I said, "Yes, it's a bit like sumo for slim people." It really, Tai Chi is a martial art, or like a grappling art. So there aren't really there are kicks and punches. You see them in Muay Thai and kickboxing and karate. It's more grappling and throwing. So somebody grabs you, you throw them, or you lock them. And so it just looks more like people might see Aikido, for example. But I definitely trained it as a martial art, and actually, and we definitely sparred, and I definitely broke my leg. So most people don't want to do that side of it, and the general public see it as a a really good rehab system. So I describe it often as musculoskeletal rehabilitation, and because it's learning like yoga is really. Yoga is the same. It's musculoskeletal rehabilitation. It's learning how to function your body, how to strengthen and stretch, so it becomes more supple and better balanced. How to improve your breathing and circulation. They work really. So yoga and Tai Chi. Somebody said to me once, well, if there was an it that you were trying to find this thing called it, the difference is if somebody tries to steal your cushion, if you did Tai Chi, you could beat them up. Yeah, go on my YouTube channel. If you go into Climbing Tai Chi YouTube, you'll see me
Okay.
fighting people on there. You'll see weapons on there, and some of my training in Malaysia on there. I started calling climbing a traditional Tai Chi, so you learn the whole art, weapons, martial art, everything, and then
Right.
painting rainbow, our well-being side, or social Tai Chi. So people are going and do the classes in the park, and we're running in like 20 parks across Birmingham, all for free. Is
Fantastic.
they learn Tai Chi and Qigong more as movement exercise. Yes, maybe similar to an aerobic class kind of thing, but much more gentle. And that way, people train up to teach people how to do it that way. And then people can pop into the park or some of those daytime classes that maybe are less physically able or less motivated to want to do the other side. Why it works so well for falls prevention, improve circulation, improved cardiovascular function, and for brain injury, improved neural pathway. Or I haven't found a medical condition that it doesn't help. In fairness,
Brilliant.
that's why I work such a lot with different hospitals. In fact, I run a website for the NHS on NHS networks. If you go, if you search NHS networks, find a website and type in the search bar Tai Chi, you'll find a website that I run for the NHS.
Perfect.
If you type in Tai Chi and any medical condition you can think of, there's a research paper on it. And I've done
Wow.
2 research projects myself in Birmingham. One was Tai Chi for cardiac rehabilitation, which we ran with the university, well, the QE, we ran with University Hospital Birmingham. And people had bypass or stents, and we did a research project with them to see how it could affect them compared to normal cardio exercise.
Yeah.
We showed such a significant improvement in patients with cardiac conditions, including cardiac failure, that the NHS funded a DVD. So you can actually get a Tai Chi DVD for cardiac rehab. And we produced the only one that's available in the UK because of the research.
That's
And
amazing.
another project we did with Birmingham University, it's now gets referred to as the Tai Chi versus Zumba study. To do research with people, older adults, 60, 70 plus, and look at 2 types of activity. So they compared Tai Chi and Zumba with the expectation Tai Chi would improve people's balance and relaxation, and Zumba would be more aerobic. That's what they were expecting to find out. They actually found out that Tai Chi was as aerobic as Zumba. It shocked them so much. And they were doing blood tests and measurements of cells and blood pressure and CAT scans, all kinds of different. And so it's all written up research. Michael Mosley, who is always on the TV and in the newspaper, he did a TV series called Trust Me, I'm a Doctor. We got featured on that. So he came and took part in Birmingham at the classes and presented some of the research about that we were doing. Yeah, it doesn't have to be fast to be aerobic. That's kind of a misconception. And we
Yeah.
were finding that when they were measuring them, for example, you can see the Zumba people moving in the way they're doing, getting sweating, and you can see the Tai Chi people moving gently. But both groups, heart rates are going over 120.
Wow.
And how is that happening? Because those people look
Yeah.
like those people don't. So, well, you're measuring it,
Exactly.
you're not making it up. And so people, yeah, heart rate goes up, they don't desaturate. There's loads of impacts the research found. We can say it, but it's anecdotal, isn't it? You can say it tells
Yeah.
you this, historically wise, it tells you this, but it was all evidence-based. But one of the things that surprised us was when some physios were coming along to the class to see whether it would be suitable for their patients. They kept stopping and said, "You stopping to what?" She said, "No, it's hard work. We didn't realize All these people are moving, and we hadn't realised how much hard work it was until we started to join in. And the main difference I would say between Tai Chi and yoga is that people who like isolated stretching, like
Yeah.
yoga, and people who like moving around or dancing, that kind of thing, like Tai Chi. They're not exclusively different, but you tend to find people who like the movement much prefer Tai Chi, and people like the stretching and isolated movement prefer yoga. I started calling Tai Chi a martial art with a smile. It's because it is very meditative, it's very relaxing, but it's deceiving that you don't realize what you can do with it. And both Tai Chi and yoga are mindful activities. You are present in yourself, you're present in your space, you're present in your body, and you're aware of how you're standing and moving and how you're connecting. It just happens that one can beat people up with as well.
Which I think is a brilliant cherry on the cake, the extra bit that you get.
Buy one get one free. Yes, you buy one get one. You don't need to do kung fu and yoga. Just do Tai Chi. Got it all.
How old is Tai Chi? I have looked it up and I see all different versions of where it's come
Centuries.
from.
They say centuries, and it talks about the history of Chan Sun Feng, seeing a snake and a crane fighting, and all kinds of things like that. All we can prove it was around in the 1800s, or we can documented wise, you can show that. But historically, they always like to say it's hundreds of years old, thousands of years old.
Yeah.
But it's really, once it develops as a martial art, once Chinese culture was looking at Taoism and the idea of soft and hard in yin and yang. Now, Tai Chi is not a religion; it's just connected to the development and the culture through Taoism and Confucianism and Buddhism. But it's Tai Chi is no more a religion than saying golf is Christian. They just to be in those countries at that time. The development of Taoism about light and dark, soft and hard, yin and yang. In fact, that symbol we all call yin and yang. The actual name of that symbol is Tai Chi, which
Okay.
we just don't call it yin yang, but it's not. That's not its name. Its real name is Tai Chi.
The actual symbol.
The actual
Wow.
symbol. Yeah.
Okay.
So that idea of soft and hard. So say an external martial art like Muay Thai, as you said, or karate, would use hard against hard, muscle against muscle.
Right.
What Tai Chi does, it use soft against hard. So if somebody comes in strong, you use softness to redirect and throw them. Or if they come in really soft, you use strength to overpower them. So it uses those harness but opposing forces. Effort. Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense. And I suppose my reference to kung fu would be Bruce Lee, but I just thinking of it, and I couldn't say which film or anything, but I know there's been times where you watch and he's basically not moving much, but allowing, exactly as you say, if someone's coming towards you, I think that's just moving to the side and letting that energy go past. And then, he's doing a little and the other person seems to be exerting a lot of force and energy. So that makes sense. All right, so did Bruce Lee, I don't know, this is a random question, do Tai Chi or is...
He did originally. He talks about in his earlier days learning Tai Chi from his dad, and then he developed it. Then he did Wing Chun and developed his Jeet Kune Do and so on. But his earlier days, he learned Tai Chi from his dad. Now, this is another reason why I like it. See, as an engineer, engineers like to know how stuff works and how you can make it better and how you can make it more efficient. And that's all engineers are the same. Tai Chi, that's what it is. It's a martial art of efficiency. The other person does all the work. You just I also called it a martial art for the lazy because you don't do very much. But you do really. It's your efficiency that makes it's efficient. If you're using Tai Chi for your daily life, if in the morning you eat your 2 Weetabix and that's your energy store for the day, you want to be efficient in how you use that energy. And so Tai Chi does that. It makes you efficient in the way you move, stand, and breathe, and then you're making best use of the energy store you've got for the day. If you through your body, you've got so many muscle chains, from your toe all the way to tip of your finger. If you rather than just use your arms to lift something up, people do it on a manual handling course. You bend your knee, yourself under and lift. Think, well, if I did that in everything I do, if I use my whole body holistically, I wanted to lift a saucepan on the stove, that I pushed up through my legs and out through my body and out through my arms to lift it rather than just use my arm. If I wanted to cut the grass or paint a wall or go for a walk, if I used all my body connected, so each muscle shares a load, then it's more efficient. And
Right.
I mean that makes it efficient as a martial arts because when one part moves, all must move, so the whole body does it. You're not just hitting with an arm or a leg, you're hitting with everything.
Mm,
And if people have got balance problems, then you're connecting to the ground much better and through your body. If you've got circulatory problems, through whether it be the cardiovascular or respiratory, so your heart, your lungs, or some circulatory problem or lack of muscle tone, if you can use that more effectively and efficiently, then the energy flows much more easily and naturally through you. Um, so it strengthens people with chronic conditions. One of the big reasons that Tai Chi got such a name in falls prevention is that when they were doing a comparative study between Tai Chi and other methods of falls prevention, computerized balance training, and computerized balance training now would be equivalent to doing a Wii board in a Wii Fit.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
that kind of calibration, that Tai Chi was coming out much more efficient at retraining people than other methods. And then physiotherapists, when you're at the wellness center, you can speak to them. They use nice words like proprioception, which means your connection from the ground through your body. So when you touch the floor, how do you know you're touching the floor? Well, how does it tell you through your muscles? So that connection through you, Tai Chi retrains that. And to prevent falling, you have to learn to fall into your body rather than over it. And then so it takes practice on training that. Because if you think for you to move forwards, you want to walk, you kind of got to lean over and then get your leg there before you fall over, because you need to lean over to create momentum. What you do is you put your leg there first and fall into your leg rather than over your leg and try and get your leg to catch up. It's just a different way of thinking. So really, for Tai Chi to work as a health exercise, you have to work as a martial art. For it to work as a martial art, it has to work as a health exercise. You can't, if one doesn't
That's
work,
right.
one doesn't work. It doesn't work because it's retraining how your whole body functions. And mindfulness is how you relearn, it's how you pay attention. And the byproduct of mindfulness is feeling relaxed. But the aim of mindfulness is being present and relearning.
Thank you for joining us for this insightful conversation with Mark Peters of Painting the Rainbow in Birmingham on the healing art of Tai Chi. Remember, the journey to wellness is not a destination, but a continuous practice of mindfulness and self-care. Be sure to tune in next time for part 2 of our conversation with Mark, where we'll explore further Tai Chi techniques and delve deeper into the mind-body connection. Until then, stay present, stay serene, and keep nurturing your well-being. Don't forget to subscribe, follow, and give us some feedback.